Welcome to my presentation on the multifactorial causes of behavior. Behavior is a product of the interaction between biology and genetics, development, evolution, learning, and social factors. Most behavior traits are genetically complex, meaning they are the result of multiple genes in combination with the environment. Yet some behavioral effects can be explained by a small number of genes. For example, loci associated with morphological traits have been identified to be associated with behavior. Among breed heritability of behavior is high for some traits, such as those related to modal action patterns, and low for others, such as temperament. Physical traits are highly heritable. Though often viewed as separate, they do impact behavior in multiple ways. Some evidence suggests height may be a factor in generalized aggression, and head shape determines visual field, which in turn can impact how a dog responds to visual stimuli. Brain anatomy of different breeds go vary significantly, with specializations which coincide to an extent with the breed-specific predatory motor sequence. Health also impacts behavior. Pain, which can be a symptom of many medical problems, may lead to a variety of behavior issues. Old age may lead to changes in behavior as well. Breed can also play a role in a dog's health condition. Many breeds suffer from genetic health issues which may result in pain. However, being a carrier of a gene associated with certain traits does not necessarily mean these will be expressed. Both internal and external environmental factors influence gene expression. The sex of a dog influences reproductive behavior, but also aggression and social interactions. Sex hormones affect the sensitivity of neural pathways involved in behavior. The neuroendocrine system is involved in regulating stress. Stimulation of both HPA axis and the sympathetic nervous system, which releases adrenaline and norepinephrine, leads to the fight, flight or freeze response. Chronic stimulation may result in medical and behavioral problems. Neurotransmitters affect behavior, and altered transmission can lead to emotional and behavior issues. For example, dopamine participates in the reward system and is involved in impulsivity, and the role of serotonin includes regulation of emotional states like fear and aggression. Behavior patterns evolutionarily selected for are those which contribute to the survival of the species. They are functional. Modern domestic dog breeds are defined by multiple genetic bottlenecks. The first bottleneck of domestication led to changes in cognition, social interactions, and dog-human communication. Later, multiple genetic bottlenecks occurred as a result of selection for behavioral traits, such as changes of patterns within the predatory motor sequence, and morphological traits such as height and shape. This recent selection led up to the standardization of breeds around 200 years ago. The prenatal environment and elements of maternal care are important predictors for the development of adult behavior. In rodent models, there is consistent evidence that exposure to a variety of prenatal stressors is associated with increased emotionality, decreased exploratory behavior, and impaired adaptation to conditions of conflict. There's growing evidence that poor maternal care or early weaning in dog puppies leads to fear and anxiety which last into adulthood. Though not extensively studied in dogs, the physiological mechanisms are likely similar to those in rodent models, involving changes in the HPA axis responsivity, leading to heightened or reduced sensitivity to stressors later in life. Pups go through developmental stages. During these stages, critical periods are observed at which a small amount of experience, or the lack thereof, produces a great effect on future behavior. Negative experiences and a lack of stimuli in a dog's early development may have negative long-term consequences on behavior and health. During adolescence, sex hormones have a dramatic effect on brain development. Dogs, like humans, go through a phase of conflict behavior during adolescence, which affects dog-human attachment. Adolescent dogs may have a heightened sensitivity to aversive encounters long after the critical period ending around 12 weeks of age. Learning is a change in behavior due to experience. It takes up where reflexes, modal action patterns, and general behavior traits leave off. Social learning, such as local enhancement, associative learning, such as operant or respondent conditioning, and non-associative learning, such as habituation or sensitization, all affect the dog's behavior. They enable an individual to modify their behavior to specific situations. A dog's learning history impacts their behavioral development. For example, a learning history of punishment or lack of habituation in early development can cause negative emotional responses, and a learning history of reinforcement and perceived control over outcomes builds resilience and inhibits the impact of stress. The influence of social cultural factors on a dog's behavior is diverse. The function of a dog differs between and within societies. In Western societies, dogs are used as weapons, as assistants in providing care, and in many other working capacities, but also as models in research and of course as companions. These kind of human-dog interactions affect the human-dog relationship and can have positive or negative outcomes on behavior. The dog's function, along with socioeconomic and cultural factors, may influence the guardian's beliefs surrounding dog behavior and their ability to access dog training, veterinary care, quality nutrition, but also housing and location. All of these are factors which may affect the dog's behavior. These 5 factors continuously interact and change both the organism and the environment, behavior being the functional product of their combined effect.